Hey everyone, this is Nick O'Malley here at MassLive.com, here with Andrew Callahan here at Gillette Stadium. Starting to rain, but we're braving the elements for you to preview the Patriots and Chiefs. Andrew, you just saw Patriots start a practice today. What'd you see today?
Not much. It's a walkthrough, which are typically held on Fridays, but because the Patriots have an extra day of practice this week, everything is bumped up a day. So they started Tuesday. Yesterday was in pads. Today was just sweats. So, you know, we go and take attendance, and it's difficult to obviously do so when everyone's not in a uniform, not with their numbers. But a couple things we did notice. Josh Gordon and Rob Gronkowski were both limited in practice yesterday per the injury report. Were there. They were present. All the defense was. Sony Michel, however, was on the sidelines, and he was on a stationary bike. What does that mean exactly? We're not sure. However, when you couple that piece of information with what we learned yesterday, that he was limited in that padded practice, that's notable because he's been a full participant leading up to games against Miami and Indianapolis, seemingly overcome the knee injury that kept him out of the preseason and the season opener. If that's flared up again, that can mean a big change for the Patriots offense against Kansas City on Sunday. Yeah,
and if you could pick one position, or, well, that you can't deal with an injury right now, well, first off, it's quarterback.
Yeah,
After that, it's probably running back, because last week they only had two running backs in the game, James White and Sony Michel, and unless you're going to give James White the ball every single time, you can't lose Sony Michel.
Right, and we saw what James White did in kind of a traditional running back role, 2 carries, 0 yards. He's just not a running back built to go between the tackles. So you need someone to do that and sustain drives, and I think that's particularly important here on Sunday because you talk about how the Patriots are going to defend this explosive offense that the Chiefs have. It's averaging 35 points per game. We've got weapons all over the place. Well, the old adage is the best way to defend them is keep off the field. So sustain long drives. That's, of course, much harder with Michel on the sidelines. Again, we're not sure what his status is. We won't know until Friday's report comes out officially. My guess, though, right now he'll be questionable, like you find most Patriots on the injury report. So, you know, they do have Kenyon Barner, who you mentioned. They only had White and Michel against the Colts on Thursday. That was a short-term measure. Barner's back, but he's another guy that fits into the category with White, right? Doesn't run between the tackles. He's much better as a pass-catching back. And right now, you know, if you're limited to White and Barner, that helps Kansas City defensively. They're not very good on defense, and they just have to sit back and defend the pass.
Yeah, if Sony Michel's hurt, this could turn into be one of those Air Brady, he chucks it 50 times a game. But, and you know what? A Sunday night shootout that's like 45-42 could be as entertaining a game, even if it ends at 2 a.m.
Right, yeah, and the thing is, you know, if you're the Patriots, obviously you always wanted to limit big plays. We just talked about that explosive offense of the Kansas City Chiefs. They thrive on those. I mean, Patrick Mahomes is a guy who's been lighting up the NFL, 14 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Also, last week, he attempted to throw a ball from his own 20-yard line to the opponent's 10. Folks, that's 70 yards in the air. I think most of us would be lucky to get just over half that. So this is an offense where I think the Patriots are going to force the Chiefs to have those long drives, eke out the clock. So you'll either see, you know, a shootout if they get those big plays, and the Patriots can. All right, they've got Gronk back, they've got Josh Gordon there, Julian Edelman to help move the chains, but it definitely shifts on both sides, I think, if Michel's not there, because the Patriots have to take more chances to move the ball, and then the Chiefs are willing to do that, and I think the Patriots will say, listen, we'll let you run the ball with 3 punts so long as that means Mahomes not going over the top of our heads and scoring to some of the fastest players at the position in the entire league.
So in the past few games, we've seen some good signs from the Patriots secondary, especially from Jason McCourty and Stephon Gilmore. Because the Chiefs are so good at throwing the ball deep, do you think this is going to be the game where we finally figure out whether the secondary is good?
Yeah, it's a tough question, too, because they do so much with their motions before the snap. So it's not even so much they're just going to line them up and just say, go play, and their guys are going to beat yours one-on-one, because there's a lot of eye discipline involved where they're sending guys across the motion and come back. And Tyreek Hill, who I wrote about yesterday, he's a guy that get involved in a lot of different ways. So their best receiver, you'll also see in the backfield, and you'll also see him in the slot. So it's going to make those matchups difficult. I think right now you can say this is a secondary that's among the better ones in the NFL, that's safe. The pass defense, of course, though, incorporates the secondary and your pass rush. That pass rush, on the other hand, that's what I think we're still learning more about, because Andrew Luck had all the time in the world in that second half against the Colts. That's why they were able to come back. But so far, Jason McCourty and Stephon Gilmore have been very good. I'd expect them to be so. Eric Rowe also might come back on Sunday. The question is, how do they match up? Because, again, they don't have a lot of speed there at corner, though they're fast enough.
Well, you mentioned that Sony Michel is the Patriots' major injury concern. The Chiefs have a lot of injury concerns.
Yeah, they do.
Eric Berry, I think, is the #1 name to watch out for. And then someone firing a musket out there?
We got some maintenance going on here, Jeff. There's always something here in Foxborough. But Eric Berry, they're all-pro safety. He's been dinged up over the course of his career. Right now, it's a heel injury. That heel injury has kept him out for the entire season. And it's good for the Patriots because he's a guy historically, you know, again, this is relative, who's had success defending Rob Gronkowski one-on-one. The Chiefs held Gronk to 2 catches when they met here last year in the season opener for just 31 yards. Berry was a part of that until he got hurt. The other injury that has my attention, because you expected very probably to still be out is Justin Houston, their best pass rusher, another guy who's made Pro Bowls, been on the All-Pro team. So if the Patriots don't have to split their attention from a pass protection standpoint between Justin Houston and D Ford is another very good edge rusher, also on the injury report, then they're able to slide strictly towards Ford and should be able to give Brady plenty of time. So, you know, they've got some other defenders there, but Barry being out and Justin Houston are the biggest ones possible for a Patriots team that, like we said, without Michel, again, not a given, but if they are going to have to sit back and let Brady throw 50 times, those are the guys you don't want to see, and they might not have to face on Sunday.
And to recap, because we had a question about it, we talked about this earlier. Sony Michel was spotted on a stationary bike in the walkthrough, which is not a good sign injury-wise. He was still present at the practice, but on the sideline, so...
Right, everyone else was warming up. It's just stretching. They had the media access portion was just limited to 4 minutes, so it tells you how much they wanted to show us. Everyone else was there, but Sony was on the sideline. Yesterday was limited in practice for the first time in 2 weeks with the knee, which has obviously been keeping him out. So if you have any more questions, feel free to drop them in. Someone mentions they were surprised that Vincent Valentine was let go as defensive tackle, who's been on the practice squad. Third-year guy, hadn't lived up to the third-round billing that we had seen from him, and especially not from a pass rush standpoint. But they're always churning out the practice squad. I mean, we had Calvin Munson, who I spoke with the other day, who's a linebacker who stepped in, and he was with the Giants, actually played in 14 games, started 5 for New York. Their defense, of course, not very good. But they're always churning out. So you might see Vincent Valentine back. Some of these guys, just like Kenyon Barner, who's bounced now 3 times in and out of the building, they just say, listen, we're going to let you go, but if you want, stay nearby, and we'll probably be able to bring you back at some point.
Yeah, and for Sony Michel, is he hurt? We legitimately do not know. We got a brief glimpse of it. We'll get a real determination on how serious it is. As you said earlier, it's probably going to be questionable, which means probably play. Maybe not 100%, but...
Yeah, 50-50 by the book definition. But, you know, the other part about this, too, if you want to be an optimist, and I think, you know, we all wish you all should strive to do that at some point, it's just, you could see this as they want to be careful with Michel, because the issues and concerns about his knee when he was coming out of the draft were not necessarily the knee's permanently bad right away, it's awful, they can't play him. It's that his career will not last as long. There's not enough cartilage there in the knee to sustain years upon years of beating and playing in the NFL. So, you know, you've got to see if this is more of the, we want to extend his career. If he's a little bit dinged up, let's play it cautious. Or this is a legitimate new injury that we just haven't seen yet. We don't know, probably won't ever know, but the fact that it is a knee, I think, leaves both paths open, right? That it's more maintenance or it's something new. Yeah,
if the Patriots want to get 5, 6, 7 great years out of Sony Michel, they want to make sure, hey, let's make sure this guy can maybe make a Pro Bowl in year 3 rather than continue to pound him after giving a lot of carries as a rookie.
Right, and you know what, this is a big game. Rob Gronkowski called this the biggest game of the season so far today. I don't think anyone's going to debate that. The Chiefs are undefeated. The Patriots, if they lose, go to 3-3. It's Sunday night. It's everywhere you want to be this weekend. But still, in the grand scheme of things, you're right. Not only just years ahead of time, you want to keep Sony Michel effective and running the ball hard. You want to have that later on this year. Because again, if they don't have Sony Michel, you're left with James White, Kenyon Barner, having to grab someone off the street.
Yeah, this is AFC East. I mean, the Dolphins were 3-0 now. Ooh, they're not looking great. So this is not the game that, like, this is going to make or break the season. The Patriots are probably making the playoffs at this point.
Of course.
Projecting forward. So no reason to risk it.
Yeah, the only situation you would push him out there is the playoffs. Yeah, it's you know, or you're trying to make it into the playoffs. I think that's pretty much the only case.
All right, guys. That's it for today. We're really starting to get rain out, so we're going to get back inside. We'll be back tomorrow for more Patriots coverage. Make sure to follow Andrew and more Patriots coverage on MassLive.com/Patriots. And thanks for tuning in.
Thanks, guys.